Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Grumman Pilot's YouTube channel. And I had the pleasure today of talking with Darren at Machine Age Lamps. He was looking for a spinner and a nosebowl. They make a lot of aviation themed products as well as some other stuff. So stay tuned for the aviation products. I think you'll really enjoy the spin on them. We would like to ask you please subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notify to stay current with our content. So here's the main home web page for Machine Age Lamps, and they make a lot of different products. They make bars, they make tables, they make fire department, automotive, nautical stuff. They also have an aviation theme, and it's all done in kind of a steampunk kind of a fashion using real aviation parts. So now let's take a look a little bit about this company and what they make, and then stay tuned for the spin.
Your average lamps.
Sean Carling creates one-of-a-kind handmade lamps from salvaged antique industrial parts. Business is so good that now the whole family is involved in crafting lamps. His daughter helps her dad finish and wire the lamps. His brother creates lamps from old fans. Even his father is now in on the act. It takes a lot of work to put these lamps together.
This is scarier than anything I've ever done before.
You welded!
I feel like I need to be a welder. I'm just saying. The moment of truth. It worked!
See Sean and other artisans on Handcrafted America. Premieres Tuesday, March 1st at 8 Eastern. Only on INS.
Perched. He calls the Great Minnesota Get-Together a great place to meet and greet customers from across the state.
It's exposure. We're local. We're Minnesota. We're based in Lakeville, Minnesota.
After working in Best Buy stores and at headquarters for over 25 years, he decided it was finally time to trade in electronics for something a little more old school.
I started this. I built one for my dad for Christmas one year. And Best Buy, offered an early retirement, and I accepted it.
From there, he went to work, looking for pieces of treasure, a lot of times in the trash.
You have to dig through a lot of junk to find good junk.
Pretty soon, his collection began to grow, and so did his business.
We started out doing this in our house, and the first 2 years we worked out of our garage. And we had 3 stalls in our garage just full of stuff.
Now he has a large shop and showroom in Farmington where you can find things like repurposed farming equipment.
The gear on the bottom, it's the base out of an old John Deere tractor rear end.
Or bright red fire hydrants that act as a base for his latest lamp.
1920s, and then you got a steam gauge. It's a 14-inch solid brass steam gauge, compressed air. I mean, that's the cool part, is if you only knew where that thing has been, it could have been on a steam locomotive. We always tell people it could have been on the Titanic.
And sometimes finding those perfect pieces is a lot like finding a ship at the bottom of the ocean.
But that's the hard part. It's just that people come through the booth, and that's the first thing they always say is, where do you find this stuff? And I always tell people it's 95% of the battle is trying to find the good stuff.
For Carling, the thrill of the hunt is what keeps him so engaged in the process.
A gauge like this with the open middle with the writing on it, I mean, I can only find a couple of these a year. But, some of the more common gauges like this. This is 1960s, probably 50s. This is more common. You could find these, but the ones that have this real cool writing on it, like this one here. This one here is about $18.95.
To some, old plane, auto parts, and piping is just junk. To Carling, it lights up his latest creation.
So he's shipped to places like Australia, and he gets a lot of personal requests, and he says those are the toughest because he doesn't necessarily know exactly what people are talking about, so he's always...
Now, this is what Darren and I were talking about. They have a customer who's looking for a Grumman nosebowl and a Grumman spinner to have this device with the moving parts made in Utah and it all put together. And again, they like to make these with the historic colors and having real aircraft parts. Now, they don't have to be airworthy parts, but that's what they want to make them out of. So we started talking about that. So we went looking through what we have in parts, and we found that we have a nosebowl that we're going to be sending him. We have a spinner. But then we got to start thinking, well, there's stuff you can probably do with wing roots. Lord knows I have enough wing roots in stock. And, that could be mounted on a wall. It could be an exit sign with a light shining down through the sump area. Then you also have the wing tips. The nav light illuminates, and you have, again, on the bottom where the counterweight goes through, you have a place for lighting and a way to mount it on the wall. So here's stuff we can use. And Don't know what I'm going to do with the canopies. I'm still thinking about the dog houses with the old windshield for a room with a view, but there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you found all of this useful and informative about these aviation themed products from Machine Age Lamps. They're very steampunk, very eye-catching, and thanks so much for watching, and have a great day flying your Grumman. Well, here's Freckles, our 19-year-old cat supervisor. Hopscotch and Sweet Pea shredding a box of soap. Tarzan hunting on the back porch trying to catch a bird on the other side of the screen. Here he goes making his leap to get up there. Quite the angelic one. They are quite the activity. And little one here, we were out and start call her Squeaker because that's what she does. She squeaks instead of meows. And of course they're the in and out kitties because either they want in or they want out.